Good evening and welcome to the August 7th, 2023 School Board meeting. Let us stand for a moment of silence followed by the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight we have a presentation, an FFA presentation. We're happy to have you tonight, Ms. Jenkins.
Good evening. I am Kaylee Jenkins. I am the current FFA advisor and agriculture education teacher at Madison County High School. We had the privilege of attending the Florida FFA State Convention in June, where we were recognized with a Chapter SAE Award, which goes to chapters that have members that are active in their SAE or supervised agriculture experience projects, whether it be showing livestock, raising small animals to sell. They could be doing wildlife management, anything shop related or in sales. Those members then submit applications, which we call proficiency applications, to the state to be judged as a state finalist to proceed to nationals if they are a winner. We submitted 11 across 7 different areas, which earns us the Chapter SAE Award. One of those was Ethan Bachnia, who was a state finalist, and Olivia Galbraith, who was a state finalist who then won. She proceeded to nationals and was named a bronze medal finalist at nationals. We also received the Florida's Finest National Chapter Award. We received a notification today that we will be recognized at nationals as a 2-star National Chapter Award winner at nationals on November 2nd. The press release has also been shared with you in your emails. So there was those as a chapter. As I said, Olivia and Ethan were individuals who were recognized. We also had state degree recipients, which would be the 3rd level of degrees that they could receive in the FFA. So that is based on their activities at the chapter, state, and national levels, their SAE projects, community service, and their academics in school as well. So Ethan Bachnia and Chelsea Crooks received those at the state convention. Former students that then can move on past the state level, state degree, would receive their American degree the year after they graduate. So we have 4 recipients of that this year, and it would be Olivia Galbraith, Mackenzie Bachnia, Abby Ratliff, and Peyton Pierce. And that is, again, as well, based on their SAE hours, their community service, academics, and what they proceed in their careers after school.
Thank you very much, and that's very impressive, and I'm so happy you were able to come tonight and share this with us.
Well, let me ask you, sweetie, ma'am, you didn't even let us know in the beginning. We found out about it in the paper.
Sorry.
And,
we
we were so pleased and we were so proud.
Yes, ma'am.
And we would have liked to meet the children too.
Yes, ma'am. They would be here, but many of them are at open house.
I know what time of year it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have no amendments to the agenda. We will.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I would like to amend the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Please. I would like to add an amendment that we discuss the MOU with North Florida Child Development and have that as a topic of discussion on the agenda.
Okay.
On a consent or item for individual consideration? Individual consideration?
It would be items for individual consideration.
Okay.
All right, we'll make that 5.9. Say it again what you want us to put.
I would like to add the topic of discussion for the MOU with North Florida Child Development.
Mm-hmm. 5.9. All right. All right. We, comments from the public? Oh, no, we have, at this point, we'll adopt the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the agenda with the amendment for the MAU to be
Second.
added.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second by Ms. Hagan. All in favor? Agenda adopted. Public comment? Ms. Gaskin?
Good evening. Nice to see all you. Thank you so much for having me. for letting me have this opportunity to talk to you about the MOU this year.
Who are you with, ma'am?
I'm sorry, I'm North Florida Child Development, Sharon Gaskin, CEO. For the record.
Well, let's stop 1 minute, please,
Okay.
okay?
No, my only thing was, I think you're on the topic that was
That's
just
right, you're on the
added.
agenda.
It might be
Okay,
better.
It would be better to wait
We
until,
just amend you to the agenda, so.
we'll let you come up
Okay.
when we discuss it
Okay.
then. Okay, I'm sorry, okay, you're fine. All right, no other comments? We have a presentation by the principals.
Madam Chair, we're going to have board presentations by the principal. We have 3 schools tonight. We have Yolanda Davis with Pine Alley Elementary School, Mr. Wallace Self with Green Bay Elementary School, and Ms. Kristen Minor with Lee Elementary School. We're doing 3 tonight, and the next meeting we'll do the other 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
In
Joseph.
that order, ladies and sir.
Okay.
So it's right here, we have it on the presentation for you. I am Yolanda Davis. I am the principal at Pinetta Elementary School. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we're going to do this upcoming year. So our vision is the same from last year. Our vision is to provide a positive, safe, and motivating environment for children to learn. We believe that all children should enjoy their learning, achieve their potential, and become independent, lifelong learners. Our mission is the same. We're one school, one team. We're making a difference. This is our faculty and staff at PES. Go to the next one. This is our current enrollment. We currently, which now it's going to be 125. For our left, we had another kindergarten enrolled. So we're currently at 125. We're up to 16 kindergartners as of about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
I didn't see your teachers. Can you flip back to that?
Yes, ma'am. Flip.
Thank you.
There you go, right, yeah.
Okay, give me a moment to read this.
Oh, okay. It's on your PowerPoint as well.
Okay, but I'm looking at this.
So that's our entire staff.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So our areas of focus. So with our school improvement plan this year, we had to decide on what areas of focus they want to focus on. And we did really good this past year, so we had to really dig deep into our days, like what is it we really want to focus on? So one thing we said we want to do is decrease our disciplinary referrals by 10%. And then we want to increase our math by 10%. You can go to the next slide. So when you look at our discipline data, we had 34 referrals. I know you may say, that's not a lot, which is really not, but the previous year we had 22. So how do we plan to decrease the number of referrals? We're going to build relationships with our students and parents. We have a school-wide PBIS team that's positive behavior intervention support team. We will set school-wide expectations and rules and consequences. We have a PBIS store. We have PBIS Brave Bucks where kids get to earn money. They go to the store once a month. We do monthly incentives. We have what you call Class Dojo, but we're moving to Blooms. And if kids have 80% or higher, the last Friday every month we adjust our schedule where they do all the academics in the morning, and then we do a little celebration for the kids. We're going to also do classroom incentives, and then again, we're moving to Blooms this year. Increase our 5th grade math by 10%. Last year, well, in 2022, we had 44% of our students that were proficiency. This year, we had 45%. That was a 1% increase. So what we plan to increase it even higher is we're going to implement Kagan strategies monthly. We're going to allow the data to drive the instruction. We're going to teach standards at the appropriate rigor. We're going to provide a safe environment for our students. For 1st through 6th grade math, we're going to do reflex math, but we're making sure they know their facts. We're going to assess the standards monthly for our Tier 2 and Tier 3 kids. And then we also have win time. That's we intervene now, where we're going to have a time designated through the day where we work on kids with skills that they are lacking. Our science that, Lord, we're missing part of that slide. Is we missing some of that slide?
Yeah, this one has 3 columns.
Yeah. Go. Let me see, go to the next one. Okay, well, I guess it was too big. So when you look at PES data, this year we made increases in every area. If you look at third grade, we started out with ELA. In 2022, we had 45% that were proficiency. This year, we had 76% that were proficiency. Fourth grade ELA, we had 38% in 2022. This past year, we had 59% proficiency. Fifth grade, we had 36. This past year, we had 54% proficiency. So if you look to the bottom, you can see where we increased in everything. And in our sixth graders, they were 50% proficiency. When you move to our math, our third graders, they had 44% that were proficiency. We jumped up to 75% proficiency. Fourth grade math, we were at 38%. We moved to 57. Fifth grade, we was at 44. We moved to 45. So if you see, and then our sixth graders, we had 78% that were proficiency. And when I say proficiency, I mean those were kids that scored 3 or higher. So we increased in everything. Then when you look at our science, we had 42%. We increased to 45%. And that was a 3% increase. So in all of our data, we increased from the previous year. So what are our school improvements? What do we plan to continue to keep doing? Teach using research-based strategies. One time for every grade level. We're going to be having MTSS RTI meetings, parent conferences, bi-weekly walkthroughs, bi-weekly PLCs. We're going to review our data after each PM. I'll have data chats with the teachers. The teachers will have data chats with the students. We're going to reteach and retest. We already scheduled our school literacy night where we bring the parents in. We're going to go over the data with the parents, and then we're going to do a make and take with the parents so they'll have something to go back home and work with their students on. We also have a family night. We're going to have bi-weekly coaching for all of our teachers. And then for attendance, which attendance wasn't a real big issue, but anytime a kid is absent at PES, we call daily. Like once I do morning announcements, if they're absent, we call. And either parents go ahead and bring them to school or they tell us what's wrong. And so since we started calling daily, our attendance really picked up because parents will be like, hey, so-and-so have a doctor's appointment. I bring them at the doctor's appointment because they know that I will call or my secretary will call. What we're going to continue is we're going to review our data quarterly with our K-12 lift data. We will have monthly PBIS meeting. We have a PBIS coach at our school. Monthly visit to the trading post, that is our school store. Also, what we started doing last year in January, we're going to start this in September. We're going to set AR goals where every month, like we might think of like pizza. You put a pizza and however many pepperonis you can earn a pizza party, ice cream party. We do some type of AR incentive for our kids. Also, with our UNICEF, we plan to hire tutors to come in to work with our Tier 2 and Tier 3 kids. Barriers. So what do we foresee being barriers? I really don't foresee any, but just in case, if we take our eyes off of focus, if we just get relaxed and say, hey, we're doing a good job, let's slack, that can be a barrier. Not teaching at the level of rigor our students need can be a barrier. Not allowing the data to drive the instruction. If we say, well, hey, our kid's doing good, let's just keep doing what we're doing. We're going to have to let the data drive the instruction. And if we just make excuses like, well, they're not on grade level, they're this, they're that, those can be potential barriers for us. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I know I went pretty fast. I want to go to open house. We got open house tonight.
Well, you should have been one of those teachers principals next time.
I know, it's okay, it's okay.
What I like that you address is the most important ingredient, the parents.
Yes.
Because if you get them on board, you've got it made. Also, I'm glad to see that you're using your AR. That's
Yes.
something that we've been pushing, and that's a good thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And-
And we appreciate you supporting us too every month with our AR awards as well.
Well, I'm happy to do it, and
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
for everything you do. We appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Turn there.
100%.
Yes, ma'am. Are there any more
That's what I'm
questions?
a grade young.
Well, hopefully school grades come out.
That's
Let's see what
what
we're
I'm
gonna do.
saying.
Are there any questions or concerns?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
Thank y'all too. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I'm well.
Mrs.
Good evening. I'm Wallace Self, the principal of Greenville Elementary. And I wanted to tell you all that I do have a stake at Greenville. My brother-in-law is from Hamburg, up by the fire station.
Who is your brother-in-law?
Jack Norris. His father was Gerald Norris.
I know him.
Oh, great. So I do have a vested interest in Greenville. He actually went to school with Iris. They were in the same grade together at Greenville. So I'm pleased to be here tonight, and I'm pleased to talk with y'all about Greenville Elementary School. We have our mission statement and our vision statement and our faculty and staff. We're working to fill our positions as hard as we can. We do have spots filled as of right now to start the first day. But we're working hard because I believe in my heart that the children deserve better, the community deserves better, and I believe that we can produce better. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of stress, a lot of stressful nights, a lot of thinking, a lot of problem solving. But for the few that are there, they want to be there, and they're bringing it every day, and they're bringing positivity every day. And I'm one of those kind of people. I believe that if you believe, it is incumbent upon us as adults to lead children and to believe in the kids until they start to believe in themselves. And I think that maybe they haven't always been believed in as much as they possibly could to reach what I know they can. So that's one of our biggest things at Greenville, for me especially. I do want to draw your attention, if you would, to page 2, the bottom left slide. This is this past year's proficiency data. The ELA proficiency at Greenville was 25%. That means that 1 out of 4 kids can read on grade level. That's unsatisfactory as far as I'm concerned. Math, 1 out of 10 are proficient in the math standards. And in science, less than 2 out of 10 are proficient. That is something that everybody in the district, associated with the district, associated with the community, we have got to all pull together to correct this. We're going to be working with tutors. We're out recruiting actively. We've got a partnership with CrossPoint. They said that they were going to adopt us. So I was talking with someone today about bringing some people out to tutor, because no matter what, I mean, 2 + 2 is still going to be 4. And if we get the information in front of our children and believe that they can succeed, they absolutely will. I don't accept anything less than knowing that they can succeed. It's not about whatever biases that we have. If we believe it, we will. You put it out there in the universe, there will be blessings. The kids will achieve. But we have to set the tone for our kids. And as the principal, I have to believe in our kids. And I absolutely do. I've been doing turnaround work for, 10 years. And I haven't failed yet. And I don't plan to at Greenville. It's important to me. I've worked in East Tampa. I've worked in Polk County. I've worked in the Northwest region, which is from here all the way to Pensacola. We've turned around a lot of schools, changed a lot of lives. I do believe that we can do it. I need you all to put those prayers, thoughts, support. I want you all to know that just coming by and just waving and saying hello, that tells people I'm with you. I'm believing in you. Just seeing the face. Just seeing the face, seeing the wave, and continually putting the positive vibes on it, we can do this. I'll give you our, as you all know, the state has a 41% is a C or better. Basically what we said at Greenville was 16% will increase, in third grade ELA to reach 41%, 31% increase in math, and 28% increase in science. Those are very lofty goals, but why not? That's what I always say. Why not? A lot of the things that we're doing, I've partnered with Miss Yolanda and Miss Christie and I are good friends. We do a lot of the same things. We're going to look at our data. One of the best things that the district decided to do was to use the STAR assessment once a month. We can show parents every month what happened to little Susie from last month to this month. Did they move a month of instruction? We should be able to see that. Or did they regress? Or did they move two? And it's very simple because it takes the teacher out of it. It's a standardized assessment. So they're getting the same thing. You're being measured by the same scale every time. So we can see those children move. And when those kids can see that in a month, they're going to start to believe, they're going to start to see, I can do this. I'm growing. I was in school for a month, I grew a month. Or I was in school a month, I grew 2 months. But it's those little attainable goals that the children never get daunted by. Oh, well, I've got to be 5th grade, 9th month. I can't see that right now in August. But I can see 5th grade 1 month, 5th grade 2 months. So that's how we're going to break it down, where they can see those goals and move forward with those goals. It's extremely important to me that we have that, and the district has decided that we're going to do that in math and in ELA. We're going to look at the data, but the collaboration with the parent, when they can see those data points monthly, that's an easy conversation to have. We could even talk with them, what happened this month? We regressed a month. Oh, that day, I don't know, we had something happen at the house and he came and whatever. Oh, well, let's do a quick little retest. Let's see what happened. That was a bad day. We could do those kinds of things because everybody knows exactly what we're doing. And looking at the data, sharing that data with the parents, but letting our parents know we are here for you. We're fighting with you. Because that's the most important thing in their lives, are those children. They've got to be the most important thing for us as well. We're always going to have barriers. We can talk about the barriers, but the barrier can't be a barrier. We've got to roll with it. We've got to say, okay, we've got new staff members. So does everybody in the world. We know that things are going to happen. We know sometimes kids are not going to come to school. We've got to make those contacts. We've got to be out there in the community. We've got great people that have already showed up and wanted to help us. I'm extremely excited about that. It's all about loving, motivating, and believing. If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you don't believe it, you won't. If y'all have any questions of me,
I don't have any questions. I would just like to say that, yes, I am a product of Greenville School.
Yes,
Those
ma'am.
parents love their children just as well as any other school loves their
That's a
children.
fact.
Those parents, you talk with them one-on-one, they will be willing to help you.
Yes, ma'am.
And Greenville is one of the cleanest schools in the county.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mrs. Mosby, are you here to help at Greenville?
She's okay.
Can't blame a girl for trying.
That's what I'm saying. I know where you are. I just thought you would try. We have.
I've been there 21 years.
I felt that you were here there to help us. But anyway, now you said the Cross Point, you partnered with Cross Point. Now, in the past, the veteran people over in Greenville, Mrs. Geraldine Robertson.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They adopted that school and say they would help. Okay, and the Greenville Women Club.
Yes, ma'am.
That's Mrs. Vera Greenwood.
Okay. I'm going to take a note if you don't mind.
And Mrs. Geraldine Robertson with the veteran people, and Mrs. Vera Greenwood with the Greenville Women's Club. Okay, and let me just tell you, you have a good resource over there. You did have Mrs. Matilda Thomas, but she's down under the weather now.
Yes, ma'am.
But you have Lucille Day, Mrs. Lucille Day over there,
Yes.
and Mrs. Lucille Day over there. and you have Mrs. Celesta Pritchett over there. Now, they're not able to come out and teach, but they can volunteer, and they can also help you with a lot of things.
With phone calls and that would be good. Yeah. It would be good.
And they know, they've taught the parents, they taught me, they taught some of the parents, that they know the children and whatever. But what about your teachers? Are you fully staffed?
We are not fully staffed with teachers.
How many
We
you
will
need?
we will have staff members, we have a long-term sub, and we have we've made some personnel moves to have someone in the class.
How many teachers you need?
We need, we have a 2-3 combo that's not filled.
How many?
Three,
Three?
yeah.
Well, how
Three
many
altogether.
positions over there?
There
Hey, but
should
three
be
over there, is
seven.
it?
Should be 7, yes, ma'am.
I know what's over there, but I'm just saying 3. 3 open positions, that's the smallest school. Okay.
So we got combo classes?
Yes, sir, we have one.
None of our schools are fully staffed.
Yes, ma'am, but Greenville is the smallest school, and I'm particular interested in Greenville, but like I said, I was born and raised there. Miss Mosley, your company's still over there, isn't it? Your family business? Okay.
Except my husband's retired.
Oh, he's retired?
Yes. So
Oh.
he doesn't work there anymore.
So maybe he can come to Greenville.
Become a teacher. She's recruiting.
I'm recruiting, and I'm looking at all these connections to Greenville. So that's why I looked at you and made the little joke, because I knew that you were at Lee, that I know you all were connected to Greenville. Mhm. But you can tell him what I say.
What you want him to teach?
No, he can come on out there, and he can, now a lot of them are single parents, and see, and he know a lot of these parents.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
He does.
He does know a lot of these parents. And I know that you're at Lee, but we need that help in Greenville.
I'd like to say that I've always been impressed with Greenville when I've gone to I go there every month. Like I said, Miss Willis
ma'am.
was my teacher that I was
Yes,
connected
ma'am.
with, and I hate to see Miss Willis depart, but she has her reasons for it. And so I'll continue doing that, and I like the idea of getting the parents in monthly and seeing the progress on a month-to-month basis.
Yes, ma'am.
And
And
that's-
it's the same, once you teach the document, to someone, this is what it's telling
Right.
you, that it's the same thing. You
Each,
can,
right.
you
each month.
you can just see the progress. And
Right.
that's what's, anytime we goal set, we have to have the goal that we can achieve, I won't say rather quickly, but something we can see rather quickly, because we will get daunted and give up if it's so far out, we can't.
That's with a lot of goals. If you want
Correct.
to lose 100 pounds, don't think about 100, think about 10 maybe. In other words,
Correct,
make it
it's like
small.
climbing Mount Everest, you look at it, oh,
Yeah.
no way, but if I can get to that
Each
ledge,
steps, that's right.
I can make that ledge, and then I go from there, so.
Right.
But the parents will be able to see in mathematics and language arts how their child is growing. And once the children understand, I'm growing, I'm not grown, I'm
Right.
growing.
Right.
They become even more inspired. They begin to inspire themselves. And then that's when the change happens. And they believe it, they accept it, they move forward.
I agree. Now, the AR, of course, is available to Greenville Elementary, too.
I'm sorry?
AR is available to.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. We
Yeah.
will utilize all of
Right.
that. I just didn't go, Yolanda did such a great job. I just didn't go into all the AR stuff, but I mean,
Okay.
we will celebrate our kids. We will celebrate accomplishments. We will celebrate monthly, all of these things. But once the child latches on to the fact that I'm moving, then all we have to do is get out of it. Because they'll continue.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
See, our parents over there have a hard time because every year there's somebody new, every year.
Yeah, well, we
Every year.
I-
And I'm
I'm
gonna tell you about
hoping-
those folks over there. Some of them can't get to you, to
Yes.
the school. Some of y'all may have to go to there.
Yes, sir.
And hang out with them on the porch. They'll sit and rock and talk with you now.
well, I mean, that's
You know what I'm
fine.
saying? I mean, that's just,
Well, yeah, I grew up in
sometimes that's
Madison
just,
County. I'm all about sitting on the front porch.
sometimes that's just the way you
And
have
under
to
the
do some
tree,
of those
too?
folks.
They might
over there.
fix you some sweet tea.
Under the tree,
Don't sit under that tree, no, go under that tree.
If I was sitting in the
under
tree,
the tree
Miss
also,
Joseph came
I'm
by.
gonna tell you something, and that's the problem. People try to portray Greenville as violent. They're not really violent people.
I have hung out under the tree. What's wrong with hanging out under the tree?
I'm happy to be there, I will tell you that.
Thank
And I think
Well,
that
I know
we,
there could be some improvements. I know, I don't believe, I know. So we're waiting for them. Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a great night.
All right,
Thank you.
Christie. I didn't mean to take your lady, but I tried.
Christy says she ain't worried you didn't take it.
He was a long-winded, like,
Thank you.
he was long-winded.
Yes,
Are you trying to give me an E for effort? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm Christy Miner from Lee Elementary, and Miss Maltsby is with me, Miss Bianca.
And staying with you.
If I was a student, I'd get E for effort.
Yes. And I do want to give a shout out to Yolanda and Mr. Self. It has been nice to work with them with the Outerline schools, kind of having some similarities. I've been using the hashtag one town, one team, one dream. And I really would like to see more of that through Madison, just all the schools. Last year I had the chance to be at Central School and just loved it. And so I just really want us to work together. So if you turn to the first page, you can see our family. That's our staff. We have all of our teachers except one, and we have a para that will be subbing in there. She is going to school to be a teacher. She helped out in some grades last year. So besides that, we are fully staffed. On the next page, you'll see our picture. Our full staff picture has our custodians, cafeteria workers, paras, and that's our family. The next page shows how many students we serve. Currently, we have 179 students. That is changing daily as kids come and withdraw, getting situated in other schools. Enrollment's maybe about 10 down from last year. Kindergartners are still coming daily as well. The next page shows our PM3 data for STAR and for FAST. We had a lot of glows. Our first grade math was 93% proficient. Second grade ELA and math, 70 and 80% proficient. Fourth grade math, 75% proficient. And sixth grade ELA and math, 69% and 75% proficient. And that 75% was by a brand new first year teacher. Our grows, we have several areas we could grow. Our lowest was third grade at 27% proficient. Looking at the data, we kind of attributed to that to not having a certified teacher in that room all year. They had 4 different classroom facilitators through the year. Discipline was rough with that group, I think, due to not having consistency. Fifth grade ELA and math and science, we're looking at to improve on as well. The next page, we were looking at how our school compared to the state average. We did well in sixth grade ELA. We were 22 points above the state average, and in sixth grade math, 20 points above. There are some other areas that are low and some that were above as well. The next page was kind of a light bulb looking at our data compared to the school's data the year before. All areas we decreased. So that was concerning, trying to look at what was different last year. Looking at it, I think a big part of it was we had a big staff turnover. There were 2 classes without certified teachers all year, several first-year teachers. So looking at these areas, we're digging in and seeing what we can do to improve. So our biggest areas of concern were
Third grade ELA, it was a decline of 57 percentile from the year before. Fifth grade math was a 29% decline from 76% the year before. That subject was taught by a first-year teacher, and more than a quarter of this class has an IEP and needs heavy support. So looking at our school-wide numbers, we have a heavy number of IEPs that need a lot of support. So we're looking at this year how we can be creative to serve those kids the best we can. We have a high goal of increasing both of those numbers by 30%. We think we can do it. And the things we're going to do those things are, we're going to give the core phonics survey to all the kids in third grade. We're going to analyze the needs in phonics. We're going to implement UFly for remediation in third grade, and we're going to be intentional and specific with our instruction on each child's needs. We're going to implement daily read alouds, the best standards book list, anchor charts, instructional boards, and weekly library time is going to be mandatory for all grade levels. We're going to implement UFly as Tier 1 instruction in K1 and 2, and adhere to the pacing guide to be sure all grade levels are taught the phonics they need. What we're finding and being able to work with the state a lot last year, I learned that a big part of our third, fourth, and fifth, which we kind of knew before, is phonics deficient. So we feel like that the UFI is going to remedy a lot of that, and we're going to go back in our team time, our intervention time, with UFI backing them up where they need to be by those core phonics surveys.
Let me stop you for a minute there. Excuse me, you said they were phonics deficient, third grade. Okay, what are they doing in kindergarten and first grade? I mean, is it phonics?
They were using the core curriculum, but the UFly is phonics. It's rules, it's phonological awareness, and it's direct instruction.
Oh.
There's not a lot of wiggle room for choices to give or leave things out. So we feel like with that intentional curriculum, starting at kindergarten, we're going to
So I know
Starting
how
in kindergarten.
important phonics is. I don't know nothing about phonics. I went to school reading. I had 3 other people in my home who taught me how to read. Nothing about phonics. And I mean, I can,
Yeah.
do whatever I need to do and over. But I'm just saying that is so important.
It is, and I think working with Caleb Watkins, he's our state regional literacy director, a lot of teachers kind of buck him and say, but what about the comprehension? What about the comprehension?
1960.
Says, as long as you are working so hard to decode, you're never going to have the comprehension. So we have to get that first, and then we're going to get the comprehension.
Thank you.
So for math, we're going to analyze individual student reports from the FAST, determine the standards that were the weakest. We're going to have specific targeted data-driven interventions, daily PLCs, biweekly with the principal to help teachers continue to change student groups as they need to be. We're going to implement instructional boards K through 6 to help ensure all the standards are being taught. We're also going to identify, we already have the Tier 2 and Tier 3 students, K through 6 according to PM3. Conferences will be held right off the bat this year with the parents and students in the first few weeks. Students will set goals with us. The STAR test will be given monthly. This will help us closely monitor their progress. We will communicate these results to parents each time the test is taken. Monthly data chats with these students will occur. This will be done by the principal, reading coach, and our teachers. We're also trying to get as much PD on the best standards as we can. Digging into them, we're finding that some teachers are teaching way past the standard they need to be for their grade level, or not deep enough. They need to just do just what they're responsible for. So we're going through and highlighting their grade level, just what they're responsible for, to make sure that they're teaching what their grade needs. Other obstacles that we're addressing were attendance. Last year, 38% of students were absent more than 10% of the days. Our plan will be to contact absent students daily. This will be done by the front office. High expectations and focus will be clear for students and parents from day one. Incentives will be given at our 9-week Rocket Rewards, as well as random drawings weekly, as well as class attendance competitions. Our goal is to decrease from 38% to 20%. Teacher retention, we want to try to up the teacher retention from the last couple years. Last year, 60% of the staff was new. This year, 27% of the staff is new. Leadership, myself, Ms. Maltsby, will work really hard to create a warm and supportive school climate where teachers want to work and kids want to be. Not being fully staffed, we needed a second grade teacher, but we think we've gotten that worked out. Our secretary's been on maternity leave, and she is returning. We didn't think she was going to return, but she is going to return. So if it takes me a minute to get to the phone, I'm jumping over desk and running through the library to get it, but I'm getting it. We have a large third grade class. The current number is 25 to 27. It's alternating each day. So teachers are a little stressed about that, but we're going to work it out. Discipline. Last year, when I met with the teachers this year, a lot of their concerns were discipline. Discipline referrals, you can see from 21-22 to 22-23 were a huge increase. So we're going to practice routines, procedures the first few weeks of school. I'm going to be present and visible daily and support them. We're putting in the new cell phone policy. We're also going to implement a check-in and check-out program, which will be any adult at the school, whether it be custodian, cafeteria. We are going to pair them up with some of these frequent flyers and have them check in with them in the morning and check out with the afternoon, just to build some relationships and hopefully get a handle on that. On the last page, I have the quote, "If you can't outplay them, outwork them." We're only competing against ourselves to work the hardest we can and be the best we can be. We may not score the highest in the state or the county, but we want to work as hard as we can and become 1% better every day. So we are striving for progress over perfection.
Thank you very much. And again, you brought in the value of parents, but the conferences that you're going to be having the next couple of weeks, you said, that starts the year off on a good foot, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight.
I'm very excited to have you at Lee.
All right. Consent agenda items, 4.1 minutes, 4.2 contract for inter-county transfer of exceptional students with Leon County, 4.3 affiliation agreement for interning teaching professionals with Florida Gateway College, 4.4 fall sports schedule, 4.5 articulation agreement with Big Bend Technical College. Mr. Reeves?
Yeah, I just had one thing. I didn't want to pull it off the consent agenda, but this, the contract, it looks fine, but it doesn't have a term. It doesn't say when it runs from when to when. What I would recommend is that you approve it, but approve it. And if you're on the first page at the now therefore be it resolved, that part of it, after that first sentence, I would just add a statement that says, the term of this agreement shall be from the date it is fully executed until whatever the last day of school is. I just put May blank 2024. Either party may cancel this agreement for any or no reason on 30 days written notice to the other party. And I wrote that out so I can give it to Ms. Becky.
So that you're saying we need to amend that contract?
You need to, yes, ma'am, to approve it with that statement added.
That's it.
And,
That's the one,
Okay.
which one?
this one,
4.6 fundraisers.
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the term included, term dates included with 4.5?
I move to approve the consent agenda items with the term limits added to 4.5, or I'm sorry, the dates added to 4.5.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hands. Becky, 5.0. Items for individual consideration. 5.5 mental health allocation plan.
Okay, Madam Chair, that's our standard plan that we have been doing since we have been receiving the allocation. And I think on the end of it, you'll see how we have the budget. Basically, we're gonna use it to pay for some professionals and some supplies and some training and a software that navigate 360. That's what, that type of software is required by the state.
Right, and I notice we have quite a few different programs that are going to be implemented for K through 6 and K through 12 and different programs for that.
Yes.
All right, any questions about this? Do we have a motion to approve the mental health allocation plan?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the mental health allocation plan.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.2, personnel changes. Mr. Killingsworth?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This evening, as far as personnel changes go, as far as instructional, we have 6 that I'm requesting today, 3 of which are recalls. One is just a name correction, added Holloway to the end to that one. But there's 2 additional ones that are added. That's the first and last one. So those are basically the new ones that I'm asking there. Then when we go to our non-instructional employees, there are 4 drivers that we're asking to be added, as well as 4 paraprofessionals. And unfortunately, down under the resignation aspect, we have 5 that have resigned for various reasons. And then we've had 3 that we had offered and things were good originally, but since has declined prior to us starting the year. So we're trying to clear that part up. And then we have our substitute teacher list, as well as substitute bus driver and aides, custodian and food service personnel that we're requesting approval for, if we could, under that topic.
Okay, Director, Personnel.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, all these retired people, teachers that you have for substitute teaching, they're good enough for Greenville.
They're good enough for anywhere, and we are trying, trust me, we're trying to actively seek as many as we can. So there's never a
So you're
pause
trying
in
to
that.
recruit some of these retired educators? And I'm
And
looking
we
at
were
all of
actually
them.
talking earlier on some, because I would love for some of them to come back.
Yeah.
I wish they would. I mean,
And some of them do.
sometimes some don't want to, they
But do you
want
know
to
how to
do it
talk
as
to
that,
them?
but I would be more than happy. So,
I'm just saying, do you know how to talk to them? Do you know how to beg?
oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
Trust me,
begged.
I have been begging. My knees have got skin rubbed off begging so much.
Oh.
But we will continue.
Do we
So,
have
I
any-
mean, until we fill all our holes, I mean, we don't stop. So
Yeah.
we want every class to have certified teachers in there. So, I mean, that is our goal and that's our objective.
Like
So,
the old days,
yes, ma'am.
like the old days.
Not quite as easy as the old days,
It's
but.
not- no,
but
it's not as easy.
At the
I
end
know,
of the
I
day,
know.
the same result is what we're
Any
wishing for.
questions for Mr. Killingsworth?
What does recall mean?
Basically, they had taught for us and they weren't, and then we brought them back this year. They'll be teaching in a different area.
They wouldn't
We just
recommend it
recall them back, so it's a
They
little,
wouldn't recommend it back in the beginning.
Yes.
That's what recall means. They wouldn't recommend it back in the beginning.
I didn't say that.
Do we have a motion to approve the personnel changes?
I move to approve the personnel change.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Killingsworth. Oh, you're
Yes,
still
ma'am.
here. 5.3 Staffing Allocation Plan.
Yes, ma'am. On that page, which is page 5, we're just clearing up some, I guess, some areas. The ones in question are just changing it to strictly payroll specialists, insurance/benefits, and then a little further down, homeless education liaisons, receptionist clerk, 11 months, and then the secretary for transportation and maintenance. It's just more of
Just a,
trying to tidy up a little bit. We haven't added anybody, we haven't changed, it's just trying to make sure it's accurate.
does anyone have any questions for Mr. Killingsworth? All right, do we have a motion to approve the Staffing Allocation Plan?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the staffing allocation plan.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
I second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.4, contract for additional hours. Mr. Killingsworth?
Okay, as you can see there, we have two areas there, Algebra 1 and English 1, which are in question. They have some names that have, I wouldn't say picked, but have volunteered that are within field in those areas for algebra and English. Now, I will say the English aspect with one of the hires we had here, we're going to be able to back that one out, but it's going to take a week or so to get that one. But these are people that, for the short haul, have said, I will give up my planning period. Now, we're going to have to pay them for their plan, don't misinterpret. But they're willingly to give that up to pick up an extra class to try to make things fit. So the English part, we'll have to pay them a little bit, a couple weeks, and then that part will wash itself out. But then the algebra will be one, as you know, we'll be continue trying to find an algebra teacher for that. But right now, this is a
So we're short a
workaround.
teacher, so,
This is a workaround.
yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
How many at the high school, Ms. Joseph?
Pardon me?
How many teachers we're short at high school? Mr. Killenberg?
Okay, at the
3?
high school, we need 6 teachers.
6?
Well, you need your English, your math, and your,
You told me we had 6
Correct.
teacher
Well,
vacancies now, we got classroom.
that's at the central.
Okay, we have 3, we need 3 at the high school. We need 3 teachers. Now, all the classes are covered, but these are how
Yes.
many teachers we need.
And 6 at Central?
6
Now, we
teachers
have them
at Central.
covered because
Yep.
we're, moving paras and we're doing some workarounds there as well. But in the ideal world, we're 6
None of our
short.
schools are fully staffed.
Yes, me.
I don't know many across the state, unfortunately.
Any more questions for Mr. Killingsworth?
High school.
Do we have a motion to approve the contract for additional hours?
I move to approve the contract for additional hours.
We have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.5, Transportation Pre-Employment Training Plan. Mr. Killingsworth?
Okay, we're asking that y'all be able to approve this so that we can use it. The short version of this is when we train somebody to be with their CDLs and we take the time and we spend that to do it, that they in turn give us the year instead of just jumping ship and going somewhere else and we're stuck holding the bag. So this is a way to either you gonna pay me back or stay with me, take your pick, which we would much rather prefer you stay with us.
Yes.
But that's the short version of what this is.
Right. Any questions for Mr. Killingsworth? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the Transportation Pre-Employment Training Plan?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the transportation pre-employment training plan.
We have a motion by Ms. Hagan, second. Second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Volunteers, Mr. Killingsworth?
Well, on that one right now, we have one.
Okay.
So as you can see, Ms. Stark is the one for the
Okay.
classroom and field trip at Lee at this time.
Do we have a motion to approve the volunteer?
I move to approve the volunteer.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Killingsworth.
Yes, ma'am.
5.7, school supplements, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, it's that time of year. These supplements are already, the positions are approved in the contract. And all the principals are recommending persons to fill that. And so it's not whether I agree with the position or not, it's a prior approved in the contract, which the contract is already approved. Some of the slots are empty at the high school, and the rationale behind that is that sport hasn't started yet, and they will have that person in before then. One correction I need to make on the high school, the sponsor for your student government will be Jimmy Brown. I don't know whether he got that in time. It's been changed. Okay, but you have the supplement list from the high school and the central school.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the school supplements with the change of Jimmy Brown for the student government?
I move to approve the school supplements with the change of
Jimmy Brown.
Jimmy Brown.
Mr. Brown.
Jenny?
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
A second.
Second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.8, Value Adjustment Board appointments, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, it's that time of the year to appoint someone to that position.
I've
Yeah,
been
we
doing-
have-
I've
we
been
actually
doing-
have-
We usually volunteer. I've
Yeah.
served before. Frankie,
I've been
are
doing-
you?
No, he-
want to do it again?
Okay,
No, he's already it.
we have
They just
you,
hand
we
out.
need an alternate.
I'll be the alternate.
Yeah, she's going to.
Okay, y'all need to go through the process, if you're gonna be the alternate, you need a community what? Okay. Has
Margaret
anyone
Ann.
spoken with her?
Billy Washington emailed me today and said that she told him she would be willing to serve.
Yeah,
Right.
I spoke to her about it
That's
too.
what she
She used to willing. It was a while back, so
So
we
you need a
can
motion and a
confirm.
second to
So,
appoint.
So are you all
To
really,
approve
you know,
is being
are you gonna talk to them also?
I'll confirm with her.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody
I'll text
give
her.
me-
I talked to
Other
her,
lady being the
Okay.
business owner.
you know, a couple or 3 months ago.
And, but I'm just saying now, in the present,
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah.
do we have a motion to approve Ms. Thompson as our Value Adjustment Board appointment and the community member being Mrs.?
She would be the
alternate.
alternate.
You would be
Frankie is
the
still
alternate. And our community member would be
Margaret Ann.
Margaret Ann.
So Frankie,
Frankie's already been appointed as, yeah.
approved.
Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I make the motion
We
to approve Devin as the alternate and Margaret Ann as our community representation.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Does Margaret Ann have a last name?
Smith.
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 Okay, no, we need to put that in the minutes.
Okay. Still Smith. She was Smith. Oh, okay. It's hard. 5.9, MOU with North Florida Child Development. And we can have our,
Okay, you won't let her start off?
let's go ahead. Ms. Gaskin?
Thank you.
Is that what you said the other day?
Thank
No,
you.
that's right, yeah.
First of all, the order of business that I saw you go through is quite admirable. I thank you for what you do as a public servant. Been there, done that, and it is such a privilege, but it's also a daunting responsibility, and y'all do that well. A great team. My name is Sharon Gaskin. I've been a CEO for North Florida Child Development for 30 years this fall. When someone said Lucille Day a while ago, she was the pioneer with I. She and I, we colored way outside the lines.
Yep.
We were way outside the lines. But what I realized when that this document had not been addressed, and school starting Monday, we got to get the children their services. So I've asked Ms. Joseph if we could, put it back on the agenda for you all to look at and hopefully approve it, so we can start business as usual, which we've done before, but we wanted to make sure that everybody understood what we're seeking as far as services for our children. I did add in this document, this first top letter is what we just transmitted just the other day, but we did send it to Ms. Joseph, as you know, in your letter in June the 23rd. I've also added, just for reference, the in-kind program information. It's a program instruction of what we have to have as far as leveraging the federal dollar. It can come from the school district, the health departments, anybody that we actually partner with. But it has to be 20%, of every dollar we've got to leverage. And that has not been an issue with this. As a matter of fact, I used this county and the other 4 counties to say, well, Miss Lucille Day is doing it like this.
Ma'am, what are you just asking us for?
Ma'am?
I'm not kind of following there. What are you asking us for?
I'm asking you to approve the MOA
And
for
give
the
us some of the things.
23-24 school year. And if you will look on the budget, I think that is probably your major thing. This is our 30th year to do this. Page 14, and I have initialed every page for your information. And on page 14 and 15, we submitted to the district, and this is budget to actual. We have history now, and this is the amount of money, real money, that we put into 57 children. These are comprehensive.
But what are you asking us to do?
I'm asking you to approve this so our kids can start receiving your services through the LEA and the school transportation.
Okay.
Starting Monday.
I understand that, and I'm looking at your budget.
Yes,
And I'm
ma'am.
looking at $657,805.35
Yes,
as the
ma'am.
total of what you're asking.
Okay.
Now, what are you, that's your budget, what
That's
are you
my-
asking us for?
It's on the next
board?
page. It's on page 15.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to
Yes,
get.
ma'am.
What are
Okay.
you asking us for?
I am asking you for these services. It's not very different than before. And at this point, you can augment them. They're there for you to verify. And it covers everything from your on-site, which it was just up from Greenville. There's personnel there that you could count towards the in-kind, toward the 20%. Traditionally, this hadn't changed much. But this is the match needed for...
This is what you need.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the match that the state requires?
This is the match the federal government...
Federal, okay, I'm sorry.
At a minimum.
Okay.
This is what, and this is based on traditional, what you have done in the past. And we want to be able to continue this partnership and serve your we have 57 children. We expanded into Greenville, and we have 17 there, and then we have the others in 2 classes at the central site. So
I'm familiar with the program. One time I thought I was supposed to volunteer, but it didn't come.
and somebody
One
did,
time I thought I wanted a job, but it didn't come.
Ms. Jackson.
Yes.
I think they're trying to hear from you specifically, what's the holdup, or why have I not brought the contract before them?
you'll have to answer that.
Okay, I'm waiting for you to finish your presentation.
Well, I will need to rebuttal if you're going to tell them why you didn't bring
So
this
what you're
forward.
telling us is that you're asking for $199,000, just
In
$200,000
services.
almost, in
In
kind.
services.
And we've been giving this for the last 30 years, as long as
Yes,
you all
ma'am.
been functioning.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So what's the 20%? What?
that is 20%.
That's 20%?
That's actually not quite 20. 20% is what we have to have overall. This is a really, this is a number based on tradition. When I add all 5 agreements together, this is probably the lowest one. But I do get the 20%. But anything lower than that for Madison, and this one's as low as it's been ever. So last year was more. But as we're gonna about get into, is that you can't afford to do this anymore, according to Ms. Joseph. So, but I'm asking you, if that is the case and it's presented here, that you reconsider what we
I
do.
don't have no problem with it. I'm tired of dumbing down the students. We dumbing them down. Every time we cut a service and whatever, we dumbing these children down. And, good program. That's all I got to say.
Well, we're bringing almost $1 million to your children. That's about $11,000 a child in this county that we're spending on comprehensive services to the children. And Ms. Brown is the center manager there, and she is about data, and I think that it's time that we stand up with our data too, and I give you a report, just like your principals did.
So these are
We
located
feed-
on the Greenville and the Madison campus?
Yes, ma'am. Central and Greenville. We got expansion money to do that, and we have a wait list. We really need to bring in more children. We are now able to teach the VPK, which we did for the district this summer, and scraped up some money to pay for the transportation.
Now, let me ask you this, are you one of those programs that just have to, let children color?
No, we give,
Okay, that's what I want to know.
no ma'am, no
Because
ma'am.
sometimes when you just let children color, I mean, so you're teaching them so that
We-
they are
we-
coming to school prepared.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I know that.
But what we have failed to do is give you that progress, because we get children ready for school, but you got to see where some of these came from. They're much in the negative. They start out behind, but that is the effort that you see our teachers, that stride happens. And when they transfer into the district, into the elementary schools, those staff members, wherever that child's going, they already know they're getting services. They're getting speech and language from the LEA, or they're getting Part C, as a younger than a 3-year-old. So you don't have to figure that out. But the principals do not have to work that out. While the other children are ahead, we brought them ready, and if they're not ready, you know what, their services just transition to yours. You just pick it up, and we really, really spend a lot of time advocating with parents. We let the parent know you're that child's first teacher. You are the most important person in that child's life.
I can remember my grandson was 3 years old, and he said, "Grandma, I want to learn how to read. But I'm impatient. I can't teach him how to read." So we sent him to that school over there in Greenville, under Julia and Lou. And when he was in 4 years old, he was reading. So I tell you, we just watched him, and he graduated with honors.
And we have those
I couldn't
heroes.
teach him.
Those teachers are our heroes, because I can't teach mine. I can't teach my grandchildren. But these teachers love. I know after the storm and all that happened, and then COVID, our staff put themselves out when they left things at home, and they had lost everything. But they put the children first. No, you don't have to be teaching anything. Make them feel safe, turn on the lights, give them food, hold them. When it rains and storms, make them feel safe. And that is one thing that we do beyond a shadow of a doubt, and we get the children ready. What we have the school readiness test that you all do, but what we need to show you guys is where Brittany gets them. We have a partnership with Kids Inc., and that transition, we hope that momentum stays up. Many times we have to catch them up still. But when
Okay, I guess we need to hear from the superintendent.
Okay, thank you. My time's up.
Okay, the concern that we have, why I have not brought, you can stay there, why I have not brought this to you is that as superintendent and along with Ms. Rainick, we are supposed to be good stewards of the funds. Okay, we know we are in a period of declining enrollment. We know that, I've been here for 4 years. We know the cost of living and everything, those prices have escalated. Okay, we also know this contract basically have not changed. Yes, those funds stay the same, they're low. Okay, but our in-kind, the value of our in-kind has tremendously increased. And my contention right here, not to try to harm the program, because I like the program. I think it's a good program. Can we do it in our school? Yes, but they get the federal money, so they're doing it. So I can live with that. Okay, but at present, we are paying someone to haul their kids on our bus with our gas on our payroll. And our people are asking for raises, but the money is going to someone that is not doing a drop of work for us. And all I'm asking them to do is pay for their transportation. They get that.
And how much is that transportation, Mr.
Okay,
Joseph?
It's on.
Ms. Rainick,
Is it right here?
58,000.
58,000.
okay, we're asking them to do that now. What she didn't want me to bring up, and I want to give it to you. Last year, we signed a contract, a legal binding contract. Whether you read it or not, you signed it, to agree to pay for the transportation. They paid for some of it, have not paid for the rest of it. And I'm going to give you a copy of that.
Will that create a hardship on you all to pay that transportation?
Yes, we won't be able to,
You don't.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me ask you something. This is a federal program, right?
It is.
All right, don't they take in account that they have to transport the students to the center? They give you no money?
No, it is not an entitlement. It is a partnership where we sought out in the very beginning, and because rural areas, they need transportation. That doesn't make it any cheaper. And what we did at the time is we put buses in fleets in all 5 counties, and I don't know how it got whatever.
Almost every federal program, sometimes they require in-kind.
I can't get the federal dollar if I can get the dollar, yeah.
They require an in-kind contribution. And I have listened and I've read and I've seen where every other school in the district and all these other schools in the counties and the superintendents are doing this for their community. They are doing this for all kinds of things. I ain't seen nothing Madison County, we as a school board, has done for the community or anybody else. And now these resources, I don't care if we don't give out book bags. I don't care if we don't do this and do that and have dances for the children. But this is about education. And these children come prepared. I know they come
Also,
prepared.
I need to know.
And I promise you, you can hear it all over the TV. Leon County, Quincy just as small as we are. They are doing this for the community. They are doing this for the children. Suwannee County. All these 67 counties in Madison County doing absolutely nothing for their children.
This was not a last-minute conversation. I've been having conversations with Ms. Gatson. If on the paper that I've just passed out, this was the minute from a meeting that we had on May 16th. Okay, discussing the funds to pay for transportation. And so I didn't wait till the last minute to discuss it with them.
But you didn't discuss it with us. That's the thing, the board has to vote. Y'all have the discussion, but the board has to vote.
Well, you asked me to do this and
Yes,
be
ma'am,
good
but then it's
fiduciary.
respect. It's respect for the board, there's a position for the superintendent, job duties and responsibilities, and there are job duties and responsibilities for the board. And when you plan these things, and you and your administrative team plan these things, but then you say nothing to it about the board, and you don't know how we feel about it, or how the community has approached us and how they feel about it, it's a mutual respect.
Ms. Joseph? Go ahead.
That's all I'm
What'd you
saying.
say, Ms. Gibson?
I said Ms. Joseph.
But I know it, but everything is recorded in this board meeting, so I just needed to hear what you told her.
I
That's
didn't
all
tell
I'm
her
asking.
anything yet. I just
Oh,
said,
yes, you did, say chill out.
I said Ms. Joseph.
Okay.
That's all I said. I said Ms. Joseph.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have anything further?
Chill out.
I've got a copy of where they have made a payment. So this was in the contract last year, and they made payments, partial payments on that amount.
And that was for last year,
Yes, ma'am, it was in the contract last year.
and this is another year?
Yes, ma'am.
A
And I was
different year.
continuing the contract, and yes, I understand we have to do in-kind. We're doing lots and
Who
lots
have
of
we done
in-kind.
in-kind with? What have
Pardon
we
me?
done for the community? And all that has to be approved by the board, and I just can't remember us doing anything.
The in-kind is, on Greenville, we pay, they're using, that building in Greenville belongs to the district.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on in-kind in Greenville, the district pays utilities for that.
Besides that, and that has been an ongoing thing. So this
Yes.
is nothing new. But I'm saying, what other in-kinds have we done for anybody in the community? Anybody, anything in Madison County community? What have we done?
What is the partial payment for?
That was
Well,
the last
it-
year.
I'm sorry I didn't give you that. Here's a copy, Ms.
I
Gadsden.
have it.
Okay.
What the partial payment is about is when we realized what had happened, and I'll let her finish before I tell you what exactly happened from our perspective and what I have documented right here. And I have it chronologically written down. We tried to settle the debt that we honestly did not owe, because I signed a document August the 25th of '22. The document was missed and missing in action, I guess. But my date on that document that she gave you was August the 25th. I did sign it. However, after she signed it, September the
19.
it no longer had the chairman's, space for the chairman of the boards on it. It came back to us, and it looked skewed across the bottom. You could notice the chairman's not on that signature page. So what we discovered was that staff, somebody inserted a page, a new budget. No discussion about it.
I take offense to that. I really take offense to
Well,
that.
I can show you where it happened. There were 14 pages on the original document. When it came back from you, Shirley, it had 15 pages. It shows where you augmented the inside of that document, and this budget right here was not in the same font. We had no agreement that it was going to change and then it went missing again. In that long stretch of whoever, we had to find it, our chairperson hadn't signed it. We found it, it got shot right to him from this office. I think it was delivered by mail or something. Guess what? He signed it December the 13th.
Do you have a copy with just your signature that has a different budget?
I got the same one you got.
No, I'm saying if you signed it August 25, you should have a copy with just your signature that would have different pages and a different budget,
It
right?
had that original one on it, yes, sir.
Do you have that with you?
I don't have it with me, but I have it as evidence. If you want, I'll send it to all of you.
That would be good.
That would be very good.
You know, the hard part about it all was that it was changed and we didn't have some really hard, you know, we submit, and the new one, and I know we're talking about two different things.
Wait, before you go on.
Okay.
Is it your position that the original one did not require any payment? Or is it your position it required a smaller payment?
No, sir. It was,
Okay. And if it required no payment, why did you make a payment
Because-
earlier this year?
because it was, at that table, we were gonna lose services if we didn't bring a check.
You didn't bring a check because you didn't send a check until.
I didn't think I owed anything.
No,
Mr.
you, at that meeting, you said you had a check and you were gonna write it, okay? But you did not send a check until July 17th, July 13th, and that meeting was May 16th.
It took me a minute to get the
But
money. I really had to do some moving money around, legally moving it around. I didn't want to lose
But you
services.
didn't lose services. We transported your children the remainder of
And
all
we
the
did
year.
VPK for you, Miss Joseph. I want this to be a win-win for all of
I want it to
us.
be a win-win, but I don't want you to portray, that I cut services. I did not cut services, okay?
Well, if you can't do the in-kind,
But we do in-kind. The value of our in-kind has increased, and you want to keep those
no,
old figures.
well, you can do the numbers. What happened was you changed the in-kind in your budget line item for us to reimburse you for it. You took the rent, you prorated the square footage. We did our best to give you the salaries for the transportation. You also put in there, we'd do VPK for you this summer. We did that every year. We were glad to do it. And you said, if you want transportation, you got to pay for it. We went back and found $6,000 more so we could get our kids to your kids to VPK, because it was really your VPK program.
We can't serve those kids.
Okay. That's all we want, is this partnership to continue. And
You're
for us-
saying that we can serve them at $1 million or more, and we can't give
We're not-
199,000? What was the budget, Kim?
That is a
That's what
budget.
they get,
Uh-huh.
$1 million. We
$657,000.
can't-
This is in alignment with the budget to actual. I got the 22 budget right here. These are budget to actual, and I only have one copy of it.
So is this what it's all about? We want the money?
And you based your budget on that, but we did an increase. Our budget, we spent $641,522.92.
So if we can serve the students, we don't have that grant, and we can still serve them?
That grant goes, that money goes to North Florida Child Development, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am, you said that we can serve
We
these
can
students.
serve those kids,
Okay.
most of those kids
Will
without
that be
that.
$657,000?
We won't
worth
get
of
that
service?
kind of money.
No, that's what I'm saying. We won't get it. But I'm just saying, if we're gonna service them, if that's what it, I mean, an in-kind donation would be $199,000 from $657,000. That's $400,000 that we will eat.
The thing about it is we looked where you wouldn't have to add money. It was money, you already have a principal at the center. And we looked for in-kind, and it has a name, and I can't think of it, it's jamming up. Something that's already going on. You didn't have to bring more people on, you didn't have to bring, have extra hours, just like grounds upkeep, somebody's doing that. But we had to pay in addition to that. We put a new air conditioner at Greenville this year. You said, thank you very much, and we put it there. We wanted to be, we came up with the money, $7,000, I got the receipt right here. But we couldn't do the quotes from your person that was putting it in. We found our vendor had a better price, so we had to take the low bid. But just like your, just minor maintenance services to that facility. If it's going on in the center, it doesn't really cost you more money. The LEA services are so valuable, and it's not that that's, well, it is an
Okay,
entitlement.
ma'am.
The local like the speech and language, we process the kids. Pest control, you don't just not do that broom, you spray everywhere. Janitorial services. We gave it a value, if that's not a good value, but what you did was charge us for it instead of, if the rate went up more, that's good. I mean, if it costs you that much on something that's already going on, or 17 kids, you know, at one site and 34, 37 at the other site. That page on 15 was our best guess based on the year before, plus maybe 10%. I mean, we're trading 200,000 for almost $750,000. It's down to the money thing. That's what we're giving. And comprehensive services. These children are taught on a curriculum, a research-based curriculum. They have dental screenings, they have dental treatment, they have health screenings, they have health treatments. Every child in our program is going to come to school. If there's a health issue, we've been treating it for this group 2 years, sometimes 3. The family's real involved. They are the best advocate. We tell them just how important you all are in this seamless transition, and that, you know, y'all are going to be it, and we want them to continue their community support and their family support.
Ms. Gatson,
And on the, yes, ma'am.
I need you to understand, I'm not against your program.
I will.
Okay? What I'm saying is that the cost that's being accrued by your organization, okay? Yes, we're doing it in kind, but the amount of transportation, we're constantly going in the hole. We're not getting 1 penny for those transportation. If we could put them on the bus with ours, it wouldn't be a problem, but we have to have a special dedicated driver.
No.
Yes.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You can put these children on the other buses where their siblings are. What we would have to do is find a monitor to be on that bus.
Okay, but the
And you
buses
would
are
hire that
full.
monitor?
Yes, we have one on the bus now. Yeah.
We're not putting your kids on the bus with any of our other students, am I correct?
Why not?
Currently, but you're able to if that's the way you want to do it.
I mean, to consider that would have been a good.
They can be up and be ready to be at school at 7:50.
We're going to have to change to mirror what you're doing. I mean,
And do you have anybody in baby seats? Because the cost of bus.
No. We can put the CEY seats in the front of the bus. I mean, your little kids ride the bus anyway, right? I mean, your younger kids. Your pre-K kids.
Yes, ma'am.
That's as young as we got. We don't have any babies. They're either, the bus, that was the idea in the very beginning, back in 30 years ago. Okay, we got capital improvement money, let's buy a bus, put it in the school's fleet. Their sister's getting on here, let them get on too. And it didn't mean my bus had to pick them up. It meant that the bus routes are actually shorter for everybody. And it was a good thing for everybody. But we had to put monitors.
So are you able to accommodate those children that early in the morning with the regular school bus?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not going to have any parents because we have K through 12 on buses.
What do you have the young ones sit at the front?
I can't.
I
can't tell y'all
That's going to be
that.
a problem.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna say, I'm sure they can make accommodations.
And you're able to accommodate the monitor? To have the monitor
Yes.
available?
So they will
I
pay
mean,
for it.
we give you the routes early on. It might be 2, 3 that we have to put on a bus. Those monitors would be whatever, would have to adhere to your rules or regulations, as the monitor. I don't know, do you have any monitors already on buses?
Yeah.
So ours are not new to that.
So they would have to
If
buy
we have
our
enough-
monitors if there's a monitor on the bus.
If
They'll
there
have
is
to
a,
buy
and you know
that
what?
too.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Mr. Reeves would like to.
If I may,
Yes, sir.
Madam Chairman. You've got a couple of different issues here. One is the issue with whether or not a refund's due on the last year's contract. That's an important issue, but not an urgent one. The urgent one is this year's contract, because we're trying to start kids on Monday. If, right now, you've got a proposed MOU that I haven't seen before, and it provides this $58,000 worth of in-kind. If we're talking about maybe doing that differently, where the children can ride our regular buses and all, we probably need an amended MOU for you all to consider, and then we probably need to try to do a special meeting, either, Wednesday or Thursday or something, so that you all could consider that before Monday, I would think. I don't know any other way to do it, because right now you don't have an MOU before you that you could consider that would set all that out. And we're talking in generalities, we're not talking about dollar figures at this point. So I think, and certainly I'm not trying to cut off discussion.
I like that idea,
but-
Mr. Attorney, I like that idea.
Pull that piece
And then
out.
we should just do what's urgent here. We
Yes.
can talk about the other money.
That's right.
We're talking about this year's contract.
That's right, 'cause we
And
got
later
kids
we can
last
talk about last year's contract later.
That's right.
So transportation would stay in. I also have a brand-new bus that is to be put in your fleet.
You hear that, Mr. Turner? I don't know what, you're the legal expert on this.
Thank you. I think if the idea is we're going to stop, we're not going to do it the way it's written, and we're going to have those children be transported on the regular buses, then we need to get a new proposed MOU that could be circulated to everybody, and then go ahead and set a special meeting where it can be considered. And because right now, I mean, we're assuming that's going to be cheaper, but until we actually see the dollar figures, y'all don't know what you're voting on.
Madam Chair.
When could we get this revised MOU?
I actually don't, I mean, your costs are the ones that'll be changed. Ours will stay the same.
It was be ours.
So, but, and again, I apologize, I'm not familiar with this, but the $58,000 figure, that is the figure that, where did you get that figure from, I guess?
That's
Transportation.
the real cost of two drivers
came from us.
But the district gave you that number?
at one time.
Okay.
So
But
that's the
they-
problem right there, the 58,000.
Well, the problem would be the whole thing.
Well, we're giving that other in-kind, it's already there, the building's there. The problem here we're discussing is the $58,000. Everything else will remain in place.
Well,
Ma'am,
No,
please
no,
listen.
what she recently.
Ma'am, listen.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, have the numbers that are on here been verified by Ms. Raynack? Because, I mean, that's the person who really knows what this stuff is costing us.
Sure.
So I think that is the person that we should be leaning on the expertise from in order for us to make adjustments, because we all know that, just looking at the utility portion of it, and I'm not against this, I'm just saying
Right.
that the numbers need to be realistic for our in-kind. So, I know what our utility bills run, and that amount is
We
not.
know how much our insurance is.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
those
then-
aren't realistic numbers. So
Well, your in-kind would definitely change.
Right.
The only problem we
And-
have here is this $58,000. The superintendent, Ms. Radnick, all of them were in agreement with this. The only item up for consideration was the $58,000. Everything else is in place. Read it. That was the only issue, $58,000.
Well, the contract hasn't been signed, so I think if we're gonna adjust it, we need to adjust it to be realistic and accurate and reflect exactly what the district is putting their dollars towards. I mean, at the end of the day, we do have to be good stewards of our dollar, but we
Absolutely.
also wanna take care of our students, so.
And these children pay taxes, they pay.
Absolutely, and we wanna make sure that they're taken care
Ride a
of,
bus,
and we want to make sure they're
$58,000,
taken
nothing.
care of.
As soon as
But
those
what's the
are
service they
updated,
give us?
When can this
Ms.
be
Joseph,
done?
as soon as those are updated, then we could get it right back to you guys? I mean, we put those out there based on traditional prior to, and that's for you to change.
Well, the economy we live in today is not traditional anymore, so we
Well,
just
I
need
know-
to
I
adjust the
know.
numbers, is all.
Yes, ma'am.
And get it taken care of as soon as possible, so these kids aren't not being transported where they need to be.
Mr. Reeves?
I think what we would have to have is on page 13, where we're talking about the responsibilities of transportation. The wording of that's going to have to be changed to say they're going to ride on our regular buses.
I can work on those. I can do that if you'll do the numbers.
And then
As
the
soon as you do
numbers.
the,
Hold on,
and
ma'am,
then-
listen.
I'm
And
sorry.
then the page 15 that's got our in-kind services, if I'm understanding you right, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, I'm saying this so you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that the in-kind services, that column that adds up to 199,000, you got those numbers from the district either this year or in past years.
Yes, sir.
And so what we need to do is it the district that would come up with the new numbers?
Correct.
For that column, so, and the transportation section would be would have to reflect the fact that the children are riding on our buses instead of us buying paying for a separate driver and all that, right?
Yes, sir.
So is that,
Yes, sir. You're exactly right.
And let me just say this now.
is that right?
Of course, we know that inflation has hit, and if we're gonna adjust these numbers then, this is all that they're asking. This is all they're asking, that 199,000. When we adjust those numbers, it's gonna go up on our behalf. So I wanna keep it where all they're asking for is 199,000, that's what we give.
Well-
Because if we adjust these figures, you know, at prorate and whatever you wanna say, adjust these figures, it's gonna go up higher than that. So I just wanted to stay at this 199,000.
Right, they're taking transportation out though. But if transportation isn't costing us.
Well, that's a good thing, Ms.
Yeah.
Hagan.
That's exactly, it'll go down.
It'll go
It's a
Maybe
good,
it
it's a
remains
good,
the
it's a
same.
good,
Actually,
But I'm
our
just
income
saying,
will increase.
That's what they want, this $199,000.
But
So,
But that's
it'll
not-
decrease
it's
and
not-
increase.
I think that if I'm understanding it right, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I think what you're saying is though, for instance, on the utilities, we're just paying the utility bill and then they're calling 8,500 of that in kind so they can show the people who are given the grant that we've put in that much.
their
So-
fiscal
so-
staff, sorry, let me tell you, their fiscal staff did that in numbers.
Okay,
Correct.
but please let me finish my thought.
I'm sorry, okay.
If this in-kind goes up, let's say that utility part for 85,000 goes up to $20,000, we're not paying any more money because we're paying the utility bills. So that's not actually hurting us that go up. So I don't think there's any, where you all are saving money is in the part on
Transportation.
page 13 about changing the way of transportation. And so, but we still need to readjust those numbers if they're not accurate anymore, if they're old numbers.
So when can we do this, Mr. Attorney? And Ms. Superintendent and Ms. Chairman?
I'm free to do it anytime, but I
I'm
think
free anytime.
the issue's gonna be getting updates for these numbers, which probably fall on Ms. Rainick, so she's probably the one we need to
Ask.
ask.
Ms. Rainick, would you like to speak?
I'm already prepared for what the costs are gonna be for this year. Share that with the superintendent.
Well, do we have it? Do the board have it? Do we have it?
No, the board does not have it. I shared it with the superintendent when she asked about the project.
Well, can we get that, Madam Superintendent?
Yes, ma'am, they're gonna owe us $200,000.
They-
Yes, ma'am, I would like to have a copy. I would like to be in the know.
But what I think you might want to do is figure out a date for your special meeting, if you need to do that on
Get back to today.
Wednesday or Thursday or something. Well, she said she's got it.
She's got it, so then, well,
Yeah.
let's.
Well, I'm being all they ask, and that's all I'm saying, I'm not trying to make trouble either way for us or for them. That's all they ask for, $199,000.
Okay, let's talk about a date to get together. Now, we have open houses every night this week.
Can we do a daytime meeting?
I could, yes.
I could do a daytime meeting,
I can do a daytime meeting too.
morning or,
How about, anytime is fine with me, as long as it doesn't. have to be here.
when will everything be ready? I could
Well,
do,
I think she's got it. I think she's getting it.
I could meet tomorrow. I mean, after the countywide, we could, I mean, I don't know what everybody
Yeah.
else's plans are.
That'd be fine.
That's
not-
kind of quick.
Yeah, I will not be able.
Wednesday.
I have a city
Oh,
commission.
you've got to get all this stuff and look at it, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well then.
I think probably, it always seems like you can meet quicker than you can. I think probably Thursday would be
Thursday?
a good day.
It's
That
gotta-
gives us a couple of days to.
It's got to be the morning for me, early.
Morning's fine for me.
I don't work.
Let's let him look at his schedule. And
Well, I
see
don't
how
have
He
it.
said Thursday.
I know that the county has a lot of meetings this week, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, the county's is Wednesday evening.
But the county won't be involved in this, it'll be us as a school
But
board
he's
member.
their
No, but I
attorney.
won't be. I'll have to
He's
be-
their attorney as well.
Their regular meeting is Wednesday night, so I won't
Oh.
be available Wednesday night.
So you said Thursday, he said Thursday?
Thursday morning is the
I
first
don't
day of
care what
school.
time.
We have Thursday.
Come on, let's bring it 6 o'clock a.m.
To 12.
What about Friday?
He said Thursday. The quicker the better, because school starts Monday.
Well,
School starts Thursday for kids, some set of kids.
But they can miss them 2 days.
They start Monday though.
I have one more question. If coordinating transportation in this venue, as we're talking about now, what would be the probability of operating like we are now with the one bus picking up our kids? So you don't have to change all the routes I'm just trying to make that's an
The
option.
group is, you've got a group in Madison and you've got a group in Greenville.
And so it's the city limits only.
Thank you so much.
We serve the city limits, not the rural areas. It's city limits. Thank you.
At what time would those kids get to school with that one bus? But still, are you saying that we use our driver to pick our person?
Yeah, our bus would still go on the fleet.
But who's
if you
gonna
want.
buy the gas?
Yeah.
That's part of the in-kind.
Ms. Raynack, you wanna explain this to them? Cause,
If you look at each of the columns, I've split the schools out separately. I actually went to the bid reports and got the actual square footage of the buildings. Actually, we pulled the electricity and the power information. We actually pulled salary information from each of the drivers that were working full-time at it last year. That salary information does not include any kind of raises if we keep bus drivers or anything like that. It's just based all on last year. The rates for, that we're charging for gasoline or mileage, all of those rates are on there. If you look at the very back page, you will see the total is $399,000. The figure is close to that it's costing us for the program.
And so all they're asking is $199,000. And it won't be that
That's
much.
what's costing us with the program. We're saying that we are putting in, we're asking them to pay for this year, $127,000. Now, that includes everything, it's not just transportation. If the board decides to go just with transportation, then those costs are gonna be somewhere around $85,000 for drivers, for benefits, for fuel, and for maintenance on the buses.
so wait, if I'm understanding, and again, I'm not certain I am, the way this contract is proposed from them, it just has us providing the in-kind, and it lists it out. What you're saying is that the services they're wanting, total cost of that is the 302 figure. If we're going to give them, going to give them in-kind of 174, then they would owe us back 127.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay,
That's what this is saying.
all right.
Now, that is not taking into account that just transportation, that's taking into
I'm
account.
gonna tell y'all something. I don't like to be hemmed up here.
I'm sorry?
I don't like to be hemmed up here. Now it's going from this to that. Now, all it was asked for 58,000.
That's all.
Now we revising everything because you're not getting what you want, we're not getting what we want, we can't compromise. Now we go into 127,000. Now, this just don't seem right here. Y'all had an alternate plan, and y'all didn't even give us that. If we were to have given them what they wanted to, then you was gonna come and slap this in front of our face. And we didn't know nothing about it, and y'all had it ready. I don't like to be hemmed up like that. Talking like my grandmama now. That you're hemming us up. I ain't playing fair.
These are actual costs. I have not seen the contract that they proposed for this year.
So when was the last time the numbers were actually adjusted on that contract? Because they seem like she uses the terms that she's just used previous numbers. So when was the last time that the numbers on that contract were actually adjusted?
When the budget came that they signed for the contract last year was when the budgets changed. And we had conversations at the district office prior to that saying that they would have to start paying for transportation because it was costing us too much. So we had conversations with them prior to raising that on the contract last year.
So the contract last year was voted on by the board. It was not?
It was voted on by a board.
I wasn't here, but it was.
September, I'm looking at it. I pulled it up from last year.
September 6th.
It was September 6th.
Was it in there? That page?
I know stuff ain't went up that much that high. See, they got something for it.
I believe their total last year was $77,300 and some dollars that we said that we needed them to pay, and we showed our in-kind services off.
See, those buildings are stationary, those buildings that those children are housed, they're stationary, and they're gonna be there anyway, so if we don't use them for that, what are we
They're
gonna
gonna
use
rot,
them for?
they're gonna get moldy
That's
and rot.
exactly.
One credit to them, the building at Central School, they own that building, but we pay the utilities.
Okay, at the Central School, they own that one,
They
but in
own-
Greenville, that's a part of the
The
Greenville Training
district
School.
own the building.
So it's like
Last year
a
on the
portable or
contract,
mobile home
we
or
said
something?
that, our in-kind was $61,445,
How
and
do they own a
that,
building?
we asked for $73,000 to pay for the drivers. Mostly the drivers, some utilities. The buildings on that form are isolated to exactly the building that they're housed in, it's not the whole campus.
So, Mr. Attorney, what did you say, Thursday?
What was it?
Yes, ma'am, I think that'd probably be Thursday.
Thursday morning?
I can't give you a better answer than that, I don't have my calendar here. I can, I think maybe the best you could do is instruct Ms. Becky to do Thursday, and I'll give her my times, and, y'all can do the same, and we'll have, just have to pick one
Okay.
time on that
Well,
day.
anytime is good with me.
Well, if I can get my kids to school, as long as I can get, I don't want super early, but.
You don't want 6 o'clock in the morning?
It would be before 10:30. I have something at 10:30.
I'd rather have it after lunch so I could work. But it don't matter if I,
Well, I'm just so neutral, anytime is good with me.
Well, my mother's turning 99, so I've got
All
to be.
right.
All right.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
So I have to plan my days accordingly, Thursday
That's
and Friday.
exactly.
Morning would be the best for me, but what would you, Ms. Joseph?
I've got two people talking,
Okay.
okay? Let me find out what she wants first, okay?
No,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just, what would you like her to do? What part can she do to prepare for this, what we're gonna get together on Thursday?
Since you wrote the contract, you made these adjustments in the present contract, can you send me some language how you propose to handle your transportation, because I don't know the rules for transportation. Send them to me.
So what are we gonna need, Mr. Attorney?
I think,
But,
Okay,
Mr. Attorney gonna read all this stuff, and he's gonna have to approve it and recommend it to us. So
I
he's
think-
gonna get with the superintendent and then get with you.
I think you got a couple of options. You can have the transportation the same way it's been, or you can have the transportation as it was talked about, where their kids just ride the regular buses. That's, if you're going to do the transportation with the kids riding the regular buses, that's going to take a language change in the contract.
Right.
I believe what Ms. Rainick gave you was a breakdown, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, was a breakdown using the present transportation system. I think if you want to see what those costs are going to be, distributing those kids on our buses, and I would assume, I don't know this, but I would assume that's going to require some rerouting of buses and all of that, and possibly some additional fuel costs. So that would have to be calculated out if we're going to consider that.
Well, let me ask you
Okay.
this, Mr. Attorney. You see what was presented to us tonight?
Yep.
Now, all this other stuff, we didn't know anything about it. We didn't see it. See, this is thrown in. I want to go with what was presented to us tonight, not all this new stuff.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we knew nothing about this new stuff. And if we had agreed with this new stuff, well, hey. I mean, if we had agreed with the old stuff that was presented to us, let's be fair. Don't come giving us some second stuff after, the first stuff didn't, fall right. I don't even want to consider this right now, because this wasn't considered in this contract, the memorandum of understanding that was presented to us in the beginning.
Originally.
This was not. So maybe this will be for next year, but for this year, it was not.
Let me ask you a question. If we get this, if those children can ride these buses, our buses, will that solve the problem with?
I was trying to ask some clarification points about making the agreement suitable for that. That's what I was trying
Yes.
to question her
Okay.
about.
That's what I thought you were doing.
Okay,
We have to give you something first.
that's what I was
Yeah.
asking you.
That- yeah.
always do, the
Right.
residence of the child.
Okay.
No,
And
no,
then your transportation.
that's not what I'm talking about. If your students got on our buses with our regular kids, okay, what stipulations, are they in a special stipulation, or they just get on the bus with the monitor? That's what I need to know.
Ms. Brown, can you
That's-
speak and
yes.
clarify that?
Yes.
Okay.
So directly to Ms. Joseph's question regarding how that would work, as I'm sitting back there, because I'm responsible for the services here in Madison County, so, and honestly, right now, it's very difficult for me to see how that would work for us. Again, our requirements would require a monitor on each bus any of our children are on. So even if it's just one child that attends North Florida on a bus, we'd have to have a monitor. And so if we go with the existing routes, the existing bus is going to be multiple buses, which would mean we would have to provide multiple monitors. Right now, we have one monitor for the one bus that we receive. One thing that I wanted Ms. Gaskin to make sure was clear, because we had a lot of commotion, I'm not sure if you all heard that we have purchased and have a brand new bus to give and to include in Madison County's fleet. I understand that that's been some of the talk related to repairs, et cetera, and we have a brand new bus to put in that can be used. That's why I said I didn't think that came across clearly, because there was a lot of talking, but Ms. Gaskin did say that we had a brand new bus ready to put in the fleet to be used by Madison County School District. And again, that bus is not solely just for North Florida's use. It's available to the district. That's a part of our contribution to the agreement, that we give a brand new bus. So it would be available and accessible to Madison County School District as well. Mr. Curtis, wasn't it $120,000 or $130,000? $130,000 that we purchased that bus. So again, North Florida absolutely contributes. And before I take my seat, and y'all excuse me, I feel like I'm shaking, because again, This is my county, these are my families, and all of these discussions, I see the parents' faces, I see the children, so I know we're having a conversation related to money, and I know that's very important, but I see the bigger part than the money. But I wanted to say that on Friday, in Friday's paper, Ms. Joseph actually put out a letter to the community, and a part of that, she said that her focus for this year is to create a safe and secure learning environment where strong partnerships and respectful relationships can flourish. She said it is only by working together that we can build the kind of momentum that will launch the Madison County School District into a new era of possibility for students, parents, and the entire Madison community. So as I sat back there and I heard us say hauling their children and our buses, and this doesn't sound like the information that was just published in the paper about building a Madison County community where they're all our children. All of them are our children. And so what I would like for the board to consider is that these children that we serve are our most vulnerable children. These are the lowest of the income. Most of our children, they're not even with parents. They're with grandparents. They're with relatives. We serve children who have incarcerated parents. So I understand Ms. Joseph said that you all can serve them. You all are serving them. You're serving them by providing transportation. You're serving them by providing disability services. One thing that we did not mention is that the school district actually receives FTE funding for the children that receive disability services. They are dual enrolled into Madison County School District. You all receive FTE funding for the Disabilities Act. North Florida doesn't get a part of that. North Florida, we just want you to serve the children. If they need speech, we want them to have speech service. If they need occupation, and you all do that for our children. So they're all our children. You all are serving them, we're acting as a collective to serve these kids. So what I would ask, being the center manager here and the one that you all see on a daily basis, I would like if you all would consider the agreement that we have in place and that we've had in place with the addition of this brand new bus, and continue to serve the children as we have been serving them. Even understanding all of the financial situation, I would ask, because again, school starts on Monday. You all are talking about meeting again on Thursday, which we don't know. We haven't communicated with parents. Come on now, as a parent, Thursday, Friday, Monday, I would like for us tonight to take that bold step to declare that we are going to continue to work together, building strong partnerships and respectful relationships, and approve the MOA that we have in front of you with the addition of that brand new bus that we all will be able to use to serve our families. Thank you.
Can I ask you something else before you up there? If we go the route of combining bus services, what time of day will your students need to be at school?
So our day begins at 7:30 a.m. We usually begin our bus route at 7:15, and students usually arrive on campus around 8:05.
Okay.
Again,
That's
these
no
are
problem. What about your afternoon route?
afternoon. Our day ends at 2:00 p.m., so they usually start the route at 2.
So that afternoon time was not conducive to our time.
Right, because you all won't get out till
Morning time
after
is
3 or so.
conducive to our time.
So that would be also, and then I know Ms. Joseph had asked about the baby seats or the car seats, but I know what she was referring to. Our buses are equipped with 5-point harnesses for all of our children. That's something we provide. We equip the buses with those 5-point harnesses. So again, if we were to put them on the existing buses, multiple buses, we would have to situate those buses with those 5-point harnesses.
Now, who pays for the gas for your buses?
Ma'am,
Who pays for the gas for your buses?
those are in-kind services through the district.
Because they gave the bus.
We gave the bus, right? Yes, ma'am.
So the bus is owned by the district.
Right, it's in the fleet, and it's available to use for anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we pay
We need a copy of that insurance certificate.
the copy of the insurance, yes, ma'am.
Because
need a
I think
copy of
We
it.
might be double insuring
We
that,
are,
but-
because you all have it and we also have it as well.
We're insuring that.
Yeah, we have insurance on it as well. Yeah, we have to show the liability for it. So I don't know if you all can drop it since we're covering it anyway.
So what y'all want us to do tonight?
I want you to approve the MOA that we have with the addition of the new bus, so when we meet with our parents and have our open house on Wednesday, we can inform them of what to expect on Monday.
So, Mr. Attorney, can that be done?
That's a policy decision of the board. If you all
Make a motion.
wish to do it, you can. I cannot give you advice on this MOU. I just now saw it.
What I'm
Yes.
saying exactly, but the complications, if we should have later problems with it, we can correct it.
It would be,
Continue.
if you approved it tonight, it would be a binding contract. And so
We can put something in there.
I'm not prepared to do it because it was put in here, like many other things are put down there for discussion. They're put under
This
items
was
of.
not put for discussion,
This
Madam
was
Chair.
put for discussion.
This was put for individual consideration.
I know it, and many other things are put under there that we don't vote on.
What did
It's
you,
strictly for discussion.
For any, no, ma'am.
It's happened in the
Who made the
past.
motion and who seconded it? Who made the motion? Did you put it there for discussion only?
She did.
I
Yes.
put it there and the way I worded it,
It
I
was for
have
discussion.
it written down, was to discuss the MOU.
You said discussion, and that's what I wrote down for
Okay, and
discussion.
so nothing limits us from not voting on it though?
No.
Nothing. You, Madam Chair, the superintendent and attorney, either, nothing limits us from voting on it.
Well,
Is
that's
that
right.
correct? Can we vote on it?
I think the board can make that decision
Okay.
if it wishes to vote on it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so.
Do we, if the board decides to, that's fine. This is the first night I've had all this
We've
information.
had
I'm not
this
prepared.
information in the packet before, you should have read it.
It was in our
Because it was
email.
pulled, and I asked that question, I say, are you pulling North Florida, that contract? And yeah.
Let me,
On
And
July
you all said
17th,
yes, uh-huh.
it was
It
on
was
the-
in the packet.
It was in the packet, but it wasn't on our computer.
for argument's sake and to give us
But-
time to get
but
this
since it was
corrected,
given
can we
to you,
just,
I thought that you would read it, so you could update on it.
It was not given on the computer, where your stuff gets printed out. Ours doesn't. It comes on here, and it wasn't there. I'm sorry.
I got it in my email earlier this week.
Ms.
Okay.
Joseph, may I ask, is it possible in order for us to just make sure that these kids are accommodated
That's right.
until we can meet again? Can we say that we are able to provide transportation services temporarily as we have been providing so that the board has the adequate time to be able to review all the documentation? We can get the amended contract, have the attorney review it, and do things the way that we should be doing them.
That's your board's decision, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I make a motion that we continue providing services to the children of North Florida Child Development pending another meeting to review the updated contract.
Amended contract.
Second,
All right, we have a motion.
Wait.
second.
Wait,
Wait a minute.
no, wait, and I need some clarification. So we're not signing any MOUs.
No, we are,
What you all are doing is you're saying in the interim, until we do get an MOU
Temporarily.
together, we would continue providing services
As they have been.
as they have
So
been.
these people Wednesday can do what they need to do.
Right. Okay, and before you vote, is that okay with you all? Okay.
No,
Do you
let
have
me
to put a
clarify, so
date
that
on
means, we'll be paying for somebody to haul their kids with our money,
The same as usual,
as usual.
the same as usual.
Okay.
However the
How
contract
long will
went.
that
It's
be?
been motion and second, now we need to take
The
a
Head
vote.
Start.
we're still in
I'm
the
asking-
discussion.
I'm
We're still in
discussing.
discussion.
We're discussing.
It would also be a good idea to go ahead and set a time.
Yes.
For us to have the MOU.
Yes.
And now, if you all are intending to start the same way we were doing last year, you could set it for a regular meeting on when we needed to have the MOU done by, and then that way you'd have plenty of time.
Correct.
So that sounds good, the regular meeting.
So,
Then put Carol out with her mother.
do we want to maybe go ahead, because we're in August, and you could say we want to do it by the first meeting in September or
You want to
something?
amend your
Or the
motion?
21st of August.
Or the 21st
That's
of
the next
August.
meeting. That's 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's 2
Don't
weeks.
she have to
should be
amend her
sufficient.
motion?
If everybody's okay with that, yes, ma'am, that'd be the
Okay,
better
so-
way.
And now I need to realize how I
Okay.
say it. I would like to amend the motion, and we continue services as they have been from the prior school year.
Temporarily.
Temporarily,
Until-
until we can meet on August 21st
Right.
to revisit the,
To consider the written MOU.
to consider the written MOU.
Okay,
My
we have a
motion
motion by
stands.
Ms. Thompson, second.
My motion my second stands.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any further discussion? So in other words, they will business as usual until the 21st.
Correct.
So we will not be meeting this week then to discuss anything.
No, ma'am.
Okay, it'll be on the agenda for the 21st then. All right.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
while you are discussing, I was gonna ask, is there a way, Ms. Joseph, that we could actually meet and develop that MOA together as a group to make sure we're all?
We need to finish our,
She need to finish her
baby.
motion.
Okay. so
Then
we
you
have
can
a-
ask that later.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0.
Ms. Gasson, do I need to get in touch with you or because I have been having meetings with you and communicate with Mr. Green, okay, or do I need to get in touch with Ms. Brown? Okay, can I send out an invite tomorrow or when you want to meet? Okay, can I ask the board a question? Do you want an MOU with transportation, with adjusted transportation? Do you want me to bring the same thing back, or do you want to adjust transportation?
We were gonna do it and add the bus on there.
We're gonna give them what they asked for, and that was,
So
Well, I mean, you
want us
have to
to
adjust the
transport their
numbers, yeah. So,
Could I make a suggestion?
Yes.
The instructions might be to the superintendent and to negotiate the cheapest way to do it.
Correct.
I think one of the things that was brought up was, well, if you distribute those kids over our normal buses, now you're going to have to hire a new aide or a monitor for each and every one of those buses. The extra aides might eat
so we're
up
not gonna do that.
might eat up the savings on the driver, and so you'd need to.
they said they were gonna
We're
hire.
gonna do what they
hire
asked us to.
aides.
We're not gonna try to do any other stuff, what was talked about, just what they presented to us in the beginning.
Can I ask one other thing?
Yep,
Sure.
Was last year's contract signed
Yeah, you've got a signed contract before.
for last year?
Yes, sir. It was this one that was handed out by the superintendent.
It's here.
That was signed.
That was handed out, and the copy I'm looking at shows signatures on the last page.
What date?
For Ms.
Three different
Gaskins, it was
dates.
August 25. For Ms. Joseph, it was September 19. For Mr. Brown, December 13, and then no signature for the chair.
Now, we got to get that together, because that's too many and too long a time between each signature. What was it, August, September, October, and all the way through December, from the beginning of, half of the year had passed.
All right, so Ms. Joseph, you know what to do? Okay. All right. Anything else, Ms. Joseph?
yes, I've got a couple of things.
Okay.
When you came in, you should have seen your T-shirts on your chair.
Yes.
That is for the countywide meeting, which will start at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at Madison County High School Gymnasium. Okay, all of you should have gotten your open house schedules, high schools, that's various things going on. It's been a lot of information in the news about the AP psychology class. Okay, for Madison County, we are good because we do not teach that on campus. The way we handle that is that we do dual enrollment. Okay, and I want to thank the principals that presented, because a lot of them alluded to our new motto, growing minds and leaders, about getting 1% better every day. And that's what we are trying to do here. Yes, we all have lofty goals, but just look at it as just 1% better every day. And then that goal will become more realistic. Ms. Rainick was concerned about executive sessions. Okay, it's about time to start talking salaries again. People need dollars and cents. And our governor is pushing to get the $47,500 for beginning salary. Okay, right now, we are less than 41, our beginning salary is less than 41,000. Our first meeting with the union is on September 6th, and the board wants the executive, the bargaining committee wants an executive session sometime before September 11th. And we've got a lot of dates trimmed in, and we're busy working on trim. Okay, and you've got trim is the September 5th, that's gonna be on that meeting. September 6th, we've got IBB. September 11th is AFR. And hopefully she'll have it done before then, but the negotiation team needs some direction from the board, and they want to know what they need to present to the executive, to the union, or which direction to go. So any proposed dates, Ms. Rayneck?
Right now, we can't really move forward to the board with the proposal until we have our first session with the negotiating team, IBB.
And that's the
So as soon as
6th.
we get done with that, session on the 6th, we'll be prepared to then set something to come to the board with. We're hoping.
Okay,
We
now,
are supposed to handle the salary negotiation between now and, this is for teachers.
right.
October 1st, we're supposed to have a plan from the Department of Education. So we've been pushing back IDB because the school is starting and everything, so it's going to be real tight getting that information on time to meet those deadlines.
How-
So soon after the session,
Your
IDB session, if they're ready to move forward with a recommendation, we would like to come to the board and talk to the board about it.
We're going to meet on the 11th. I don't know if that trim.
The 11th, we're gonna be talking about trim, so do you want to wait? Do you want to wait that late?
Or we could do it after the 4th. Week of the 4th.
Okay. The first IB is September 6th. You need the meeting after, you want the meeting after the 6th?
After this,
After the 6th, hopefully we'll be able to have something in place, we'll at least know the direction it's supposed to go, or that we negotiate to go. We have several proposals right now that we're working on with the labor attorneys to present to the IBB, but we can't talk about those until we sit down and negotiate.
would the 7th be too soon?
No, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Would that be perfect? How's the 7th looking?
It depends on the time for me.
Well, we can accommodate.
We have
mean,
to talk to Leonard, we have to talk to Leonard.
Are you,
Oh,
are you
okay.
proposing September 7th?
I'm proposing the 7th, but I don't know about the board.
Is that too soon, right after the 6th? Have you all absorbed what they've said?
Well, we'll have a direction
Uh-huh.
after the IBB meeting, knowing whether they're going to be, accepting of our proposals or not. It still may mean we have to have continual IBB meetings and negotiate it out, but we're hoping we're going to come with it to a good enough understanding at our first meeting.
Okay.
That's our intent.
Okay, well, we can keep that in mind. Of course, you have to get Leonard here, so that's going to be another,
I can talk to Leonard tomorrow.
okay.
Okay, so we're
Would that
gonna
be-
set it
Tentative.
tentatively for the 7th at this
If
time.
everyone's in agreement.
So Katie, you said we need to accommodate you, what time?
Well, I
The usual time, 6 o'clock?
no, I mean, if it's in the afternoon, I'm fine, but if we're gonna do it in the morning, I just
Okay.
need to know in advance so I
Well,
can accommodate coverage.
We usually do it at night
Yeah,
still.
so then that would be fine.
I would say probably Leonard would want the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. I don't have any problems.
All right,
But I have to check the schedule.
okay, very good. Anything else, Ms. Joseph?
Okay, the one last thing, at our luncheon at the district, countywide, I'll be asking my district administrator to serve, and I need y'all to be hostesses.
With the mostest.
Hostess with the mostest, my district administrators need to be serving.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, Mr. Reeves?
Ma'am.
Ms. Hagan?
Nothing.
Mr. Carroll?
Nothing.
Ms. Thompson?
I would like to say welcome back to all of our staff. Thank you to Ms. Kaylee Jenkins for the presentation. Thank you to our principals for coming tonight. I'm looking forward to a wonderful school year, and I would also like to thank Damascus Missionary Baptist Church for the invitation to attend their service yesterday and the generous donation of school supplies.
Ms. Knight?
I too would like to say welcome back to all the teachers and staff. I am looking forward to an exciting school year and looking forward to serving alongside each and every one of you. I would also like to thank those that came this evening, and I look forward to the presentation from the rest of the schools. And I just wish all of our students a wonderful school year.
And I'd also ditto that. Ms. Jenkins, thank you and for what your students have achieved this year. They wouldn't have done it without our teachers. I appreciate the principals coming in and all their ideas, and I look forward to going to the schools again this year. And I think that's it for tonight. Do we have a motion to dismiss?
Madam Chair, I move to dismiss.
We have a motion to dismiss. Thank you.